For this next video we're going to be looking at if statements. Now if statements are a staple of any sort of programming language, and it's a fairly easy concept to understand provided you can understand a little bit of logic. Now we use if statements every single day. Whether you are leaving to go to work, leaving to go to school, you are making conscious decisions all day, every day. So what we're going to be doing is you're going to write the program to check if you're old enough to drive. The program will ask for a user's age in years. So we're basically going to get them to input something, and it's going to output if they're old enough to drive. So we're going to make a decision. So if we were going to plot this on a flowchart, you can see we've got a condition in the center here, which is the diamond, and if the condition is true, then it's going to run this bit of code. Otherwise, if it's false, well, in this example, it skips that code entirely and then continues on with the program. So to give you another representation, here is an example with a microbit editor. Now this is just a screenshot from the MakeCode microbit website, and I've got other videos on my channel showing you how to build things using a microbit. This is inside encased a forever loop, but the premise is the same. So if button A has been pressed, then I'm going to have a message saying button A is pressed. Else if, so there's another condition here that says else if button B is pressed, then we're going to show string button B is pressed. Now if neither button's pressed, we've got a catch, what we call a catch all here, so an else, no button's been pressed. So if you press button A and B together, it's not going to show anything here, it'll obviously show this else there. So what we're going to do is we're going to now write a little bit of code which is going to look at this. So I'm going to get my code window up here, and we're going to start creating this program. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to say age equals, and I'm going to ask it to give me an integer, so int. What we're going to do is input how old are you, and don't forget to close the brackets because I've got the int in the front here. So we're taking an input now off the user, we're converting it then to an integer, so a number, and we're going to store it as an age. Now you'll notice I'm going to be using a double equals in a moment, right, and I'll explain why. So I'm going to say if age is equal to, or greater than 17, I'm going to do a colon. So this is basically saying if age is greater than or equal to 17, then I want to print a message saying you can drive. Now my other condition could be an else if I wanted to, or I could do an elif, and then I could follow it up with an else just in case something else is entered. So what I do here is I'm just going to use an else, so I'm going to say else print you cannot drive yet. So if we run this code, we're just going to see then what's happening. Now you can see I've got my operators the wrong way around here, so I'm just going to correct that very quickly. So I say greater than or equal to. Let's run the module again. So let's run the module again, and it's come up now, how old are you? So if I put 15 in, it says you cannot drive yet. Fine, so we know that part of it's working. Let's try 17. You can drive. Great. Let's try 120. Great, you can drive. So we can see this is working fairly well, and we can see that the conditions are obviously being met. Now let's take this little example and let's work on it a little bit more. So let's say for example the user enters a number greater than, say, 120. We need it to say that you're a little bit too old for driving and maybe you should get the bus. So let's go back over here and let's change these conditions. So I'm just going to change this for a second, And what I'm going to do is we're going to turn this to an elif, because that essentially is saying else if. And what we're going to do is we're going to say if age is greater than or equal to 120, then print maybe take the bus. So let's see now what this is. We've got an if, we've got an elif, and we've got an else. So what's going to happen is when we enter our input, it's going to turn into an integer, which is going to be stored as a variable called age. Age is going to be checked to see if it's greater than or equal to 120. It's then going to basically check to see if it's greater than or equal to 17. Otherwise, it'll drop straight down here and print you cannot drive. Let's run that code. How old are you? We'll do 17 first of all. Great, you can drive, so that still works. How old are you? 130. Maybe take the bus. So this is how you do some basic if statements in Python.